Hello, my name is Michael Moreno, and this is my presentation for Graphic Design 179 for Project 3, the Conceptual CD Packaging Design. Up first would be the client I envisioned for this packaging design, but first let me get the share screen going. All right. For this project, the client I have in mind would be any kind of musical shop that sells new musical products such as record shops, video stores, superstores like Walmart and Target, etc., etc. Since many record shops specialize in secondhand, vintage, or used collectible records along with a wide variety of CDs, at least the one that I go to sometimes with my parents is not uncommon for such shops that contain several items priced in the hundreds or thousands of dollars or local equivalent due to their rarity, as well as items that are fairly common for much less. This type of musical shop, however, would also face fierce competition from internet sites that specialize in selling these type of products. And speaking of internet sites, that would be another client I can envision this design would appeal to, like eBay, Amazon, iTunes, and Discogs, where people can sell their records, CDs, and other musical media. They would likely want more media to be able to put on their stores, while the purely digital iTunes would not really be able to benefit from the more physical aspect of CD cases and their designs. They would benefit from the album that is on the CD itself. Another client I can see for this design and CD would probably be pawn shops, as they would almost always have a wide collection of CDs, records, cassettes, and all sorts of musical memorabilia. And they would likely have a CD like this in one of their stores along their expansive collection. These shops would probably have my design sitting among their inventory, and while it may be drowned out by the other sought after CDs, I could only hope that a customer would pick the CD based on its design alone. Now, for the main target audience that I have in mind, this one I feel it would appeal to those that are already fans of the musical group. And by my research, they would be those in the 35 to late 40s age range, as they were most likely there when the band was growing in the late 1960s. These fans would likely be well aware when it came to a new album coming out for this band and would be on top of obtaining and purchasing it. These fans would likely be fans of older, much more rock focused music, since that is what this band is known for, and would appreciate the songs provided. The demographic for this band, which would go with both genders, as both males and females in this age group, including my own mom and dad, who enjoy this band for what they are and the type of music that they make. The second target audience I see for this would probably fall under those that look for these type of bands, newcomers to this music in a sense, which includes me. The age range I feel would give this that I would give this would be early 20s and could be either male or female, though leaning more towards the male demographic. This demographic could have listened to one or two of this band songs and enjoyed their music so much so that they would binge the entire musical playlist of the band and start to make extensive playlists. However, they likely wouldn't know where to start when it comes to getting into the band's songs and albums, and could hopefully see this album as a good place to start off. The third target audience I can see is mainly a small majority, that being collectors of music memorabilia, likely seeking the CD out in the hopes of either adding it to their almost library-sized CD and record collection, or to sell it online once it reaches that sort of age for musical products. This audience can range from just about anyone, and there's not really a concrete age range I can nail down for this group of people, as most of them are online when it comes to selling a musical memorabilia and would all most likely be anonymous at that. Now, for the design itself of the CD packaging, I wanted to go with a more patched together look for the background mainly, as to me, it looks like something you would see as a wallpaper at a music shop, or what I thought at the time of making this, that it being patched together papers and newspaper clippings. I also wanted to stick with the Lips logo for the majority of the design, as that is the first thing I think of when I think of the Rolling Stones, and it was too iconic to not use to make it stand out. For the front cover, I had to search extensively for the front-facing version of the Rolling Stones Lips logo, as all of the 2D ones that I searched for were just ones facing from the side angle. So I used a photo of a three-dimensional statue that I found online, which thankfully was big enough to see all the band members on the front, like that of a couch. Up next is the back of the CD, which I was told it is most effective to have the music list on the outside, and on the back of the CD cases, that was where people looking to buy this product would like look to see if it was one of their favorite songs or a good song list in general. I chose to incorporate a tape texture to make the text pop out in terms of visibility, with the caption "The Rolling Stones' greatest hits from all of the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s." And below that, I chose some of my own favorite personal songs from the Rolling Stones. And, and with that, I also added some more realism with the barcode on the bottom and the FBI anti-piracy warning sticker on the CD case, which I am sure most of us would remember always seeing those when watching DVDs and yeah, seeing them on CD cases. Next is the inside of the CD case, which for this one, I wanted to display the band members in their older years, at least the remaining ones, as previous band members have either left the band or sadly passed away. So I went with the remaining band members with them playing, being put on top as a double exposure piece with all of this with the previously used background of the band. Now for the disc, I chose to go with Mick Jagger to take up half of the disc with the band's name on the side. I also added a bit of realism with the disc and design by adding the compact disc logo seen on most CDs. And from my somewhat fuzzy memory, mainly being on childhood DVDs. Up next is the poster for the inside of the CD, which I made using the heads of all five of the members of the Rolling Stones band, with the Rolling Stones logo on all of their mouths. With this one, I place all of the band's instruments that they use throughout their musical careers in this band. First up would be Mick Jagger, who is the vocalist of the band, which I used a mic to place next to him. Next up is Keith Richards, who's the guitarist of the band. And for this one, I used Keith Richards' signature guitar that he used throughout his musical career, and which I found a lot of fun to see all of the different guitars that he used. Next up would be the drummer of the band, Charlie Watts, and for him, I placed just some normal drum and drumstick sets next to him. While for Bill Wyman, the bassist of the band, I gave him his signature bass guitar that he used throughout his musical career, just like Keith Richards. And finally, we have Brian Jones, and he was a special case when I was researching this, as he is labeled as a multi-instrument user, which is very rare in the musical industry. So I couldn't go with just a single instrument for him. So I chose to go to use just three off of the quite impressive list of instruments that he knew, that being the harmonica, the keyboard, and the saxophone, all three being shown above his head. Let me get the mock-up quick. All right. Next up is the mock-up that I made of the CD packaging. And it does have the complete vision that I have for this design. Mainly, I was able to add a booklet, which I will get to later. For the CD packaging, I mainly wanted to get everything all nice and together. For the poster, I had to extend it a little for this specific layout, but it worked out in the end. And this is the vision I had for the inside of the tray card with their faces being right there. And for this one, I'm for the when I used this template, I was able to add a little booklet for some smaller info as well as the previously stated song list that comes with the CD. Beside that is the main background group that helps with the Rolling Stones, such as their main producer, engineer, sound studio, and photographer, with myself as the cover designer. All right, that's about it. Thank you for listening and hope you all have a good day.